the people that ate my food, they almost demanded it. I mean, they would call me, and people would call me and that I had never even talked to before. Friends of friends were giving it out. And they were just like, Carla, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do this, but I need more of this in my life. Son is on school.
If it may, well, it's okay if it does. We're okay.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like interfering with a little bit of the Wi-Fi. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, it does mine for sure.
Yeah, because I'm in the mountains, and I've got the most speed you can get, but I live in the mountains. So
where do you live? That's awesome.
I live in Evergreen, Colorado.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
I love Colorado.
We went to Utah in August to do the Paiute Trail.
Yeah.
We love four-wheeling, and we did the Paiute Trail, and oh my gosh, I fell in love with Marysville. Like, we met the nicest people there. Yeah. It was interesting. It was not what I expected. It was awesome.
Oh, that's your first. I love Utah. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm from Wyoming, so I know Colorado a lot better, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was where we went to do everything. We traveled sports, and yeah. So I love Colorado. A lot of my family has moved to the Fort Collins, Loveland area, right outside of there. So yeah. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome anybody that logs on. If you do log on, please drop a note and say hello. And of course, join us or follow us at the Global Hemp Association and globalhempassociations.org. Other than that, Carla, I'm super excited to have you on and super excited to talk about what you're doing, because as we were just saying before we went live, the education piece around the health and benefits to the aspect of using hemp for food and what it does for us it's eye-opening for me. And as I talk about it, just the farmers that are wondering if it can be used for feed and the benefits that they're finding in feed compared to what it's doing for us specifically, right? So yeah. Tell me a little bit about yourself and about what you do and who you are. And yeah.
So I'm Carla Boyd. I am the president of Hemp Way Foods. I actually I created this company in February of 2014. So we're going on our 7th year coming February. So yay! It's been a very interesting long journey of owning a frozen hemp food business. So we craft plant-based hemp food that is gluten, dairy, corn, soy, nut, and GMO-free. It's clean ingredients. We do hemp burgers, an Italian breakfast sausage that can also go with sliders, just a smaller 2.5 ounce with heavy in the fennel seasoning. And then we also do crumbles, which is the loose version of the burger, but think of like a hamburger meat. Mm-hmm. Anything that you can do with the crumble, like anything you do with a hamburger meat, you can do with the crumble. So it's super versatile, but yet it's vegan. Or I like to say plant-based. And our mission is not necessarily, we want to see everybody eating vegan. We want to see people eating clean food ingredients. People ask me all the time, how in the world does your burger stay together? You don't have binders. Well, my ingredients are my binders. I didn't want to put a lot of gums. And I'm not saying the gums are necessarily bad. There's a reason for certain things, you need some guar gums and xanthan gums, but I wanted to create a burger because I have a lot of food allergies. And so I created it for my own needs. I had no food experience whatsoever other than I've considered myself a hemp chef for a long time. I've been working with hemp foods for many years. But other than that, I owned an insurance agency for 7 years. I mean, really? What insurance agents go to becoming hemp chefs? But I don't know. It was actually the reason it became a real company and formed as a company is the people that ate my food. They almost demanded it. I mean, they would call me, and people would call me and that I had never even talked to before. Friends of friends were giving it out. And they were just like, Carla, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do this, but I need more of this in my life. So it came across very organically. It was not, I knew I wanted it to be a company, but I didn't know how I was going to make it a company just because, like I said, I had no distribution experience, none of that. I was just like, how am I going to do this? So I just started calling people and talking to anyone and everyone I could in the food industry and trying to get help and discovering that the frozen food world is very tough. But we have a few grocery store accounts. We have about, some restaurants, and now we're working on more of a regional level, and it has taken a very, very long time to get there, but there's been a lot of learning. So I didn't have $1 million mistakes or $1,000 mistakes or anything like that. Like, I took it very slow. And honestly, I don't know if we would have launched big even a year ago that it would have been the difference as where we're about to enter in the space we're entering. People are ready. They're ready to eat clean. And it's not just Colorado. I mean, people all over the country, they want clean, healthy food. It just, I see the demand for it. I have people contact me every day going, Carla, how do I get your food in Tennessee? And I try to work with people in shipping, but shipping is so expensive. It's just a lot. And that's actually how I developed with a consultant of mine a little over a year ago, a franchise model. We haven't really, we when COVID hit, we put it on the back burner huge because it was just not the time. But like I said, I'm actually surprised at the amount of people that are wanting to eat healthy right now. It's almost a demand. Like, I just joined this online buying service. It's a national, it's huge. It's companies that, like Kroger and Meyer and, companies like that. But when you pay to play, you can see who goes on your page. Mm-hmm. One company has been on my page 38 times in 2 days. They haven't sent me messages or talked to me, which is, I'm going, okay. But it literally, I feel like it's a company dating site. It's really funny. But, but that just shows you, like, you've got these national companies going on my page on a regular basis. Just like I said, it doesn't tell you much, but it just shows you what company goes on your page and just looks and so forth and so on. But it shows you that nationally there is a huge demand in the grocery store world. They're wanting this food. It's just frozen food it's a unique beast to conquer. Mm-hmm. It really is. And that's why you don't see a lot of mom and pops in the frozen food aisle. It's just not a common thing. Mm-hmm. It's usually very large national chains, if regional if you're lucky, but there's a few.
I'm glad to hear you have a consultant. This is something that, especially in this industry, like you said a few things that really piqued my interest. One, it took a long time. I'm no surprise in you're bringing a hemp product into a market that didn't really exist. You're bringing hemp-based foods where people are scared of it. I mean, people are still nervous until just recently to even touch it, really, especially outside of Colorado, right? And I understand that it's probably easier where you're at in the sense of it's much more accepted. Cannabis is a conversation that's had on a more regular basis compared to Utah, where I'm at, right? It's just not a... So pulling to a national brand doesn't surprise me, or a big brand, that it's hard to break into, especially then. I see it opening up more, and it doesn't surprise me. When we were talking off stage, the way that the pandemic has rolled out has shown pretty much everyone I've talked to or opened up the opportunity to explore healthier eating, better habits, fixing supply chains, especially rural and economic development or circular supply chains, right? Economic growth where we can survive and be sustainable with less dependence.
Yeah, very much so. I have lived it for 6 months now. I'm still having a problem with some ingredients that I was buying on a bulk level. And I'm sitting here going, guys, this stuff is grown in Colorado. I just don't have the time to drive 6.5 hours to go get it, but yet I can't find a single supplier here that is carrying this man's lentils. So it just, yeah, it's just an interesting. So I'm buying individual organically grown lentils, and I've been buying them in 100 pounds, but that's not available right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have a
So,
supply chain.
Yeah, tell me about some of these things. Like, what got you into this? You said your health, right? You had built this for your health, but why should other people be taking note? You and I just talked about supply chains, but for someone like these teenagers or somebody that's going to a grocery store to buy products, I know lids for ketchup were a big deal for some companies. They couldn't find ketchup lids. So or aluminum cans or, meat packaging, just all these different random things that us as consumers don't see. It has not hit us as the end user yet, right? So
no, because a lot of companies are using their back, some you order in large inventory, even a small company like myself. There's a couple of things that I have in the back stock. And so a lot of companies are using all their surpluses, and a lot of the companies that they're ordering from are using their surpluses. So yeah, no, I don't think we've seen the end result to this by any means. I really don't. And when we built my consultant and I, when we built the franchise model a year ago, I didn't see this coming. Like this was, and gosh, time does fly. It's probably been it's been a year and a half ago that we probably started building it. I definitely didn't see that, but in my eyes, more than ever, it shows why a franchise model for especially a company like this is so valuable, because find those farmers, and guess what? If they're not growing lentils, contract with them, have them grow lentils. I'm not saying that's the common thing, and I know it's easier said than done, but that could be a possibility once you get things built up in your state. But there's so many rice, you can buy rice regionally. There's usually several areas you can buy it locally produced. And that's what the franchise model supports, but specifically, the hemp, with using your local hemp farmer. But people in each state, hemp people are passionate on a national level, but specifically very much with like your own individual state. Like people want to get behind Utah hemp. They want to get behind Nebraska hemp, Texas hemp, Kentucky hemp. Kentucky's really proud.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado hemp. Like I use locally grown Colorado hemp, and I have, that's how I'm a local proud company. And that's what I would like to bring with growing the franchise model, is bringing that local proud to each individual state, copying what's been done over 7 years, but majorly, because it's going to be compressed and it can be done in one.
Right.
Because it's media. Hemp Way Foods has a ton. Like I have people call me thinking that we're more of a regional company, because we have we've made national news a couple of different times. Our story ran nationally for like 4 nights. I couldn't believe it. When my friends from Mississippi, because I grew up in Mississippi, some friends from high school called me. They're like, "Carla, we're watching you in Mississippi on the news." Like, what? Are you serious? I had no idea. It just kept getting picked up and picked up and picked up, and it just grew. And that right there, and that was in, gosh, I think that was January. Yeah, that just shows you right there. There is such a demand for this food. It came out yesterday. A Texas CBD company is joining with a Montana hemp farm, and they're producing a plant-based hemp product. So it just shows you the demand's there. But
absolutely, I think it's gonna keep growing, right? As people are learning, it's consumable, and it's a food, and it's healthy. And so tell me some of the benefits for hemp products, and why.
I get so excited about talking about hemp, I leave out some of the health benefits, which is actually that's actually the most important piece to all this. The hemp, like seriously, that is the most important piece to what we're talking about. But sometimes I skip that just because of the talk
Me
about
too.
the
It's
exciting part. I mean, nutrition is actually really exciting, but it can be boring too. But no, hemp, oh my gosh. So it's got all your amino acids. It's all 20 known amino acids. It is an anti-inflammatory. It helps with hair growth. It helps with your skin. It helps with digestion. It's amazing. Like if you have digestion issues, if you're have any issues with absorption, it helps with absorbing your nutrients. So when you eat hemp, it's kind of like a carrier. It helps with your flax and your chia and your other vital nutrients. You can absorb those better. It's got your perfect ratio of your omegas. I mean, who doesn't need brain food? I mean, hemp really is, I call it your brain food. I mean, there's days when I don't do my smoothie because one of my favorite ways to do it beyond my food, with the burgers and the sausages is doing hemp smoothies. And sometimes I'll just be busy on the go and I'm just like, I'm gonna skip it today, or I'm not in the mood today. I really notice when I don't have my proper amount of omegas. I think everybody should overdose on some omegas. Not overdose on, but
well,
you know what I mean.
I mean, really.
Yeah, we really need some extra omegas in our life, and I mean, especially right now. Like right now, we need some immune boosting ways. We need to eat healthier. We need to take better care of ourselves. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's tough seeing, some of the layoffs. It's tough just with what's going on in general. The fires are affecting so many different farmers. I mean, we haven't seen the repercussions of the fires that are happening right now.
Well, not to mention all the land hurricanes that have come across and wiped out all of the land that's producing 40% of the soybean and corn and chicken. And I mean, their property was demolished, and this is at the start of the pandemic, or, we haven't seen the rollout of it yet, So when we talk about sustainability and opportunity that hemp brings, it also involves our supply chain and our food, And why have you seen the show What the Health? I'm sure you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I actually just yesterday was talking about how I really want to go to more of a clean diet, clean eating. I'm a junk food junkie. I love candy. Like, it's my poison. Everybody else that gets their fix from working out, mine's a bag of candy. And I really want to eat healthier. And one of those is cut back on my processed meat. And I really don't eat a lot anyway, but I'm really intrigued by the hemp in the product and the hemp burger or sausage, because it's vegan and clean and still includes more nutrients, or plenty of, right?
Oh, it's 10 grams of protein in a 4-ounce serving. It's gosh, what it's, oh good grief, it's 30% of your daily. All my numbers mixed together. You think I would just know this off the top of my head after 7 years?
It's okay. As soon as we hang up, you're going to just rattle it off.
Oh, no, I can just rattle them off any other time. But yeah, it's 25-30% of your daily fiber. I mean, it's because I use literally here my ingredients. It's hemp, lentils, organic brown rice, flax, chia, amaranth, garlic, salt, pepper, spice, psyllium husk. I mean, it's clean. I mean, I have chefs ask me all the time, how is this bound? And I will tell you, that took a long time. It took me about 5 years, but it's all in I welcome people that are like, oh, and I've actually have a few local chefs that buy it from me for their home use.
Yeah.
Because they're like, Carla, we've been making veggie burgers for years, and with your ingredients, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And yeah, it's part of the process as well. And I'm like, I'm not telling you that part.
right, though. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, I love it. I'm excited. So yeah, so give me some tips if you can educate, using this time now to educate people as to why to really pay attention. What advice? Like what have you seen and what do you see coming, I guess, with your business that really why now should we be paying attention to this and to Hemp Way Foods?
Well, for one, I think that it is just the world, if not the country. I mean, literally the world is ready for better nutrition. There's a lot of crap on the shelves in so-called wolves clothing. It's just there's a lot of fake healthy stuff out there. And just because it's called plant-based. I mean, look at the ingredients. Those are important. I think it's different. And there's other, good products out there too. I'm not saying everything out there is bad by any means. There's just a lot of crap out there. There really is. And just because look at the ingredients. That's the first and foremost aspect of it. But, when you eat healthier, you are what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And when you eat healthier, your immune system is better. Getting your omegas in, your brain functions better, you think better, you process better. You literally, when you eat proper foods, you are a better human being. For the simple fact of your brain is a computer and it works better. You're giving it what it needs to work. It can work minimally and it'll do a decent job. And you don't know any different until you
do.
You get those changes. A friend told me the other day, they're like, oh my gosh, never stop eating gluten-free, because when you do, and then you go back to gluten, it makes you sick. I'm going, you realize that there was an allergy there already, right? No. I'm like, yeah. You gave your body a taste of freedom and it kicked your butt because it's like, no, I had freedom. We're not going back.
Right. You nailed it. And not just in the food industry, right? In the entire hemp is coming in and disrupting so many pieces of this industry.
It can do everything. It literally can do almost everything. Clothing, fuel. I mean, obviously fiber in the clothing, but so many other aspects of clothing. I mean, just fiber in general. I mean, when you can build a car, fuel a car, clothe a person, house a person, and feed a person, are you kidding me?
Like, the roads to drive on.
It's just duh. I mean, common sense. I don't know, but anyway, I can get on my high horse on that part. But yeah, it's just now we have to go forward and educate, and that's our job.
Bingo. And I think that's the biggest, is what is the piece that's missing? When I talk to other people about it, you kind of touched on this as to why I think people don't get it, is because they don't know any different, right? They don't know different than to eat a gluten-free meal, because they don't know what it's like to be gluten-free. So they don't realize what it's doing to their body, right? Same with diabetics that have been diabetic for a long time. And they're like, oh, wait, no wonder I was feeling crap for the last 2 years, because I finally figured out or was diagnosed with what was causing the problem, right? And I think the same thing in textiles. Like, why would I spend $10 for a US-made, US manufactured hemp shirt compared to $1 for a shirt that's being shipped from somewhere else? Right. And it's the lack of education to the entire piece that's involved in the supply chain, from transportation, from US grown, from US manufactured, labor laws, to poisons or chemicals, or it's like the greenwash, it's that there's a lot of fake product that's claiming to be organic or green, and same in the food industry. I mean, there's a lot of garbage out there that blows my mind, and I'm guilty. I thought I was doing my kids a favor buying fruit snacks versus candy. It's bull. It's not better. It's the same or worse 90% of the time. And so, yes, I go back to what you said, that read your ingredients and pay attention to what you're eating and understand the difference. And this has really shed light on opportunity where hemp, people say, well, how's work going, Mandy? How are you doing? It's booming. figuring out where I fit and how we support the work and the legwork that needs to be done to really provide the opportunity is the trick. But this is a time of innovation, and hemp has provided that for us, in the food industry, especially.
Yeah, no, I agree. We have a long way to go in the food industry. We really do. It needs to be rebuilt, but I don't want to see the crumble. Like I don't want to see that. I would like to see I would like to see a easy transition with my heart of hearts. I kind of let the franchise model go because I was told by, potential interested investors that was not a way to go. And then just because I thought of that, the conversation ceased. And so that scared me.
Sure.
So I kind of backed off from the franchise model. I haven't really pursued it like it needs to be pursued, but I firmly believe, with my heart of hearts, I know there's and the reason it will succeed is because of the passion. My passion is ample. And I know there's us hempsters, man, we're some passionate people. That's why they that's just all it is. We love our hemp and we believe in our hemp. And I know there's other people out there, and the idea of owning a frozen food company is so out of the box and impossible, because how does it begin?
Sure.
First of all, it begins with just having the machinery. I've been for 6 months. No, I take that back. 4 months. We bought a burger machine. Oh my gosh. The burger machine is still not running. This burger machine is going to produce 1,000 burgers an hour. But guess what? Meat is different than the weight of my product, right? Yeah. So the molds don't work. I'm having to ship back and forth the molds piece by piece so they can carve it, because once they go too big, and they're 800 a piece, the molds are. So once they, literally I'm actually in the need for new boxes, so I can always take an ounce or give an ounce away from it. But we're not even there yet.
Right.
So literally it is taken. So first of all, just because of budget, these are $25,000 machines. So we bought a used one, and then we completely took it apart and scrubbed and soaked piece by piece. So that sucker's like a brand new machine.
Right.
But now we're going back and forth. So, but we finally got it resolved. This next step is going to either be at the 3.9 or 4.2.
Sure.
Or I'll just back my percentages off. But now I know the measurements. Now I know everything to it. So, it's little things like that literally, I've worked those kinks out. So 6.5 years of business is literally compiled. And and with the press, are you kidding me? Press, eat this up. And I don't mean that in a tacky way by any means. It's a beautiful story.
But it's
Mom and Pop Hemp Food Company enters, let's see, I'm trying to think, where's my first state? Because I want warmth. I need to get out of Colorado during the winter.
Yeah.
The franchise has to be warm so I can go and train and build. Because I'm telling you, these winters are killing me. But yeah, it just, I know there's the right fit out there. And I just got, because like I said, I just got the courage to say, you know what? If the investors that don't like the franchise model, if they're not, then you know what, they don't see that, then maybe they're not a fit for Hemp Way Foods in the first place, because we've still been that family company. But yeah, we're just now in the midst of that regional ramp up stage, because all the equipment is now sitting in the kitchen and it's ready to roll.
That's awesome. I'm impressed. So when we were talking earlier, you said buying local, right? Your franchise model provides opportunities now for the production piece to purchase hemp from local farmers, right? Mm-hmm. Is there benefit to consuming local hemp, like honey? Local honey is a huge, for allergies and. Do you know?
I actually have no clue. I tell you, I get something to add to my stockpile of research lists on a regular basis. Wow, that one's getting moved to the top. Wow. Yeah. I've never thought about that, but it absorbs the nutrients, because that's why you only want to eat hemp grown in a clean field.
Right.
Because if you're eating hemp, that's from a
an oil field.
like you want to plant those fields, but you don't ever want to use that hemp for food. That hemp is, I don't even know what you use that hemp for, honestly, because wouldn't want my animal laying on it.
No,
I mean, I don't
burn it
know.
for energy.
Yeah,
Get energy.
yeah, exactly. It's the fuel hemp. Yes, it's not used for anything other than fuel. You're exactly right. But anyway, oh, sorry, got off on a little tangent there, didn't I?
True, in the sense that like, there are new things that come up every day, right? And I do look at this benefit of hemp as really being opportunity for our local farmers and supply chain. When we talk about sustainability, being able to provide local food, local grown.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, local. And I mean, obviously, there's some things that are going to be on a regional scale because there's some things that are not grown at a state level. I mean, that's just a given. But I mean, regional, local, I just personally believe when you are on such a large scale and you depend on things, I mean, you're still going to have some things that are, on an international scale. I get that. But when your core ingredients and your just core in general is on a local / sometimes regional level, I just feel like you're set up to succeed because, like, with what's happened, I mean, you've got a local ketchup company that is one of the best ketchups I've ever put in my mouth. It's clean, but they're strangled right now because they can't get their bottles at a fraction of the cost at an international thing, and it's going to put them out of business because they're not big enough, but yet they're too big, and they're at this impossible M cross, and that's what I want to prohibit and help. And I mean, I guess there's always potential problems, even on a local regional scale, obviously. But when you build a family in, say, Hemp Way Foods Tennessee, okay, sometimes guess what? Hemp Way Foods Tennessee has to help out Hemp Way Foods Nebraska. When you operate, then you have security because this local level can help this other local level.
You're not up against the animal by yourself, right? This is
no, but you're independent at the same time.
Yes.
Because a few people are talking to me about licensing, and I'm not, it could be a possibility. I just honestly feel the franchise level,
is
you
where
strike
you're at,
the big,
where your heart is.
Well, and I feel like you can tap into the passion better when they really own that piece. It's theirs from the heart. Mm-hmm. But yet a lot of the work has been done and out of the way.
Well, it's funny. I get investors all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, but I've been talking to a couple that say, they want to invest and they believe that hemp is a solution for a lot of people or a lot of opportunities. So they come because we're the Global Hemp Association, right? But just recently somebody said, okay, we've got this money, but we're not looking necessarily to invest where it could work, right? We want to invest where we know it's going to work. And that, I think, has been a lot of the holdup with money coming in to support organizations like Hemp Way Foods, because it's a new product. I mean, look how long and how much work it was just to get the mold right, and yes, you can use other products from other industries that's starting to come over, but just like in textiles, you can revitalize the cotton mills, but you have to change the technology on how you're spinning because it's no longer cotton, it's now hemp, right? Or how it's processed. And the fact that you've gotten over that hump is very appealing because it really is. And you've generated revenue, you're successful in stores, you've secured contracts with, it's very, very attractive. And again, I go back to more and more the need on every level is organic and natural and healthy and staying away from the crap out there, the garbage that's being put in our clothes and our bodies and our air.
Yes.
You know?
We've got a lot of crap out there.
It's insane. It's totally crazy. So moving forward, where do you see the industry, and where do you see your biggest hurdles that you're needing to overcome next?
You know, I think we're still a long ways on education. I just being honest, I would like to say that's not the case, but I'm just being realistic, and I know it is. And so I think getting the media attention, like I'm about to approach the news station again, because I just started working with a zero waste local delivery company, and I deliver. It's interesting, and it's what I dream of, because honestly, are you kidding me? I have to spend money on packaging. That's so expensive at my level. Packaging is so crazy expensive. When something costs
about hemp packaging and hemp plastics.
Oh, yeah.
Connections to the hemp guys that are supplying hemp plastics. It's hempplastic.com.
Yeah, and I looked at it was unaffordable. I mean, I paid 3 cents and it was going to be like 60 cents. And that's not even my packaging. And granted, I could invent packaging around that, but I don't know that. I think I would be so niche at that point that I would scare my regular people off. I don't, but it's something that I want to work towards, because at some point, I think we just as a company, I need to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Sure. And well, I think this is exactly why supply chains are broken. There has to be a capital injection that comes in that allows the cost of that plastic, the cost of transportation. Once we have hemp grown in the United States, like we do in Nepal, and we have the capabilities to manufacture it, I imagine costs will drop. Right. And it's like chicken before the egg and egg before the chicken. And how do you as a business make that transition as a startup without these huge organizations first coming in and saying, we're going to stop with the greenwash. We're going to start supporting the organics. We're going to start supporting local farmers. We're going to fix the supply chain for regional areas so that when we have a land hurricane, it doesn't knock out 140 million acres of our supply.
Yeah, right? I mean, exactly. 100%. It's there's so many benefits to hemp, but I think one thing is I think a lot of people have gotten used to working independently and not necessarily not helping, but just being very independent and very close with their knowledge.
Yes.
That's not where we need to be with hemp. And I'm not saying share your trade secrets or things like that, but you need to, this industry needs to come together more and be more supportive instead of, I've done this and I'm not gonna share any knowledge to help you do what you're gonna do. And there's definitely people out there that do, but it just needs to be on a broader scale, because we're going to continue to need to come together as an entire community to help. Food helping textile helping oil, so forth and so on. It needs to be circular, because this is a movement. Yes. And I truly believe, yes, money is important. I get it. Money makes the world go round. I get it. But this is so much more than money. Like, yes, I want to definitely make more than I'm making right now. I can tell you that. But
don't we all though?
Yeah, but it's a balance, and it is possible to make money and also be an ethical, sustainable company at the same time. And, I actually, literally, I've never considered, but I don't think I'm going to do it in the immediate, right in the next few months, but I think in the immediate future, like we were just talking and you brought up the hemp plastic. I think there's literally a way to do packaging and justify, once it comes down a little bit, the packaging is the packaging. Because like right now, I vacuum seal in plastic and then I put it into a paper box. Well, I can get this hemp plastic
and a paper box. right? And I know the hemp paper now is pretty competitive on cost for packaging. It's not a lot.
I asked the company that I use, and they literally choked and said, absolutely not. They told me it would be a minimum of double.
I'll help you. I'm going to send you a connection. There's somebody that we've interviewed twice.
No, I would love it. Because are you kidding me? I would love to walk the talk, walk the walk that I'm talking. I mean, because I've had a few people call me and really ream me out. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Go bankrupt? I'm already providing hemp on a knowledgeable, I don't know what more to do. And I get it. I don't want
to be a balance. There has to be a balance. And I sit on your side also, right? I'm impressed that you're involved, but this is where what businesses, small businesses and new emerging entrepreneurs and that are coming up with new products and being, I want to say ingenuitive, but I'm trying to think of the word. But opportunistic, right? You're taking opportunity and turning it into something. And if, like I said, if the price doesn't come down, how can the consumer expect you to be 100% in? Otherwise, the consumer will never buy your product, and there has to be this bridge of this, or this gap that we have between everybody wants less expensive products. As a business, we have to have less expensive products. So our profit margins are affordable enough that our consumer will actually purchase them, because again, our consumers are being miseducated or wrongly lied to almost about what they're consuming, what's in their product. And if I read something that says organic, I trust that it's an organic product. I trust that free range means they're running free, right? That they're taken care of. That means, and there's a lot of pieces to that I just, I'm taken back, and I'm taken back by the amount of work that has to go in to bridge the gap and the understanding on both pieces. And I think that as we progress, those opportunities open up to be 100% hemp packaging. But in the meantime, even those people that are running massive facilities making huge, say, auto body parts out of now a part hemp, they're just now starting to move over and put a part of their, plastics are made out of hemp, or they're mixing them so that they're making the transition. And I'm sure the same thing, if somebody is making plastic bags, it's actually the person that you're buying your bags from, right, that would move over to a hemp-based plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
And so understanding, again, that supply chain. And people say all the time, well, if hemp is so great, then why isn't it out there? Why isn't everybody doing it? And I think we just hit on 12.5 reasons on why it's not in the mainstream yet. And it doesn't have to necessarily do with the hemp. It's not a good product. It's that we have a massive amount of work to do on every piece to bring it together. And I'm with you that education is really at the root of it.
Yeah. It's, I get a lot of, sometimes I get a lot of flack about, why did you call your company Hemp Way Foods? And hemp is your third ingredient. So therefore, why are you called Hemp Way Foods? And I said, because quite frankly, I want to be loud and proud. It is, it's one, the main ingredient is the third. I mean, it's still, because that's huge, of a hemp product out there. But, I think having that just hemp out there, maybe in 10 years, it won't matter, because maybe people won't blink an eye. But I want to educate people. I want them to know the reason they think that burger is so amazing is because hemp is in it. I like hempifying everything. You can pretty much give me any recipe and I'll hempify it. Whether it's with my food or just turning it in like a peach pie, a hemp peach pie. Okay. I mean, whether it's with my, the food that I created, or whether it's just hemp in general, like hemp mayo. Are you kidding me? It's delicious. It's amazing.
What is it that you're cooking with? Like, if I'm making hemp mayo, if I'm adding hemp to something, what part of the hemp am I adding?
The inside of the hemp, the seed. I mean, I do use some hemp proteins, but they're just, to me, the hemp heart, it's a nutty, but
Yeah.
yet a sweet. It's a lightly sweet, but more nutty taste, but it's a chameleon. It really adapts to because it can be a savory or it can be a sweet, because I make hemp truffles, but
Mm.
then you can also, make, add hemp to, your smoothie or
Mhm.
things like that.
What I do.
Um,
And I sprinkle it on my salads. I love it. It's like, it's nutty. Yeah. It's creamy
yeah.
almost. It's good. I just bought a big bag of hemp hearts, and I don't even know what they're called. I'll have to see what they are. But I don't know. So are you buying then from farmers that are producing? What is the farmer, like, everything that I know and everything people talk about are either this bushy plant that they're growing for CBD or marijuana, or they're the long stalk that they're growing for fiber or for herd. Where is your plant? Where's it coming from? How is it being harvested?
Um, I mean, it's a, grown for seed.
Okay.
And so it's, just this big,
Yeah, yeah,
huge, bud full of seeds. And
yep.
I believe, because I buy from Colorado Cultivar, which contracts from Colorado farmers, typically in like the San Luis Valley in that area. But they like a big combine, and it separates the heart.
Okay.
And then from there, it goes to the dehulling machine.
Okay.
With this big machine that dehulls the soft, the outside, but the seed's thin. It's very thin.
Yeah.
And then the inside is kind of white. I compare it to quinoa a little bit, if it was, white quinoa, because it's got that little curl.
Mm-hmm.
But it
When you get it, is it hard or soft?
no, it's soft. It's
Okay,
the heart. Yeah, it's already dehulled. I use the dehull. That's why I call it hemp hearts.
Okay.
Because it's the inside of the seed. But I buy it already dehulled. I buy 100-pound bags. I usually buy about 500 pounds to 1,000, depending on my price point that I can get.
Yeah.
But no, I've been using Colorado cultivars since, let's see, not from the beginning, because in the beginning in 2014, you still are not growing hemp per se for food. But I mean, there were farmers, but it was not widely accessible. But I think 2015 is when I switched to Colorado hemp, when it was available. And then I've been using Colorado hemp. And that's my goal with going more towards the franchise model. With, I would just do one per state. Hemp Way Foods Colorado is already established.
Mm-hmm.
But, the next Hemp Way Foods model, they would use, let's just use Hemp Way Foods North Carolina, for example. They would use North Carolina grown hemp. That would be the whole purpose. And, work with the farmer and have, a very close relationship with the farmer. And in my eyes, this is almost, it makes me a little embarrassed to say, but I think the hemp, whatever first state we launch with the franchise model, I think it'll outdo Hemp Way Foods Colorado right after the first year. I really do.
Really?
Just because, in Colorado, like, people just kind of roll their eyes. Oh, another pot burger. Or I get compared to South Park all the time with Integrity Burger. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. It's so horrible. But it's kind of like, people love my burger, but the people that eat my burger, they're not necessarily, they're health nuts.
Sure.
They're not in the hemp industry, or do you know what they're like. My son's friends, a lot of his friends eat it because they're vegan and, or they're into really healthy food. And, so I went off. Sorry, I lost my train of even thought. Why did I even start?
I don't know. We were talking about meals and.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, but it's, I feel that, I know, because I feel that Hemp Way, the next franchise in the state, will just surpass Hemp Way Foods Colorado. Because media in another state, are you kidding me? That would be so easy to get the stations would love a hemp burger coming into town. Like it would be, you would be, and then I even think the restaurants, I hate to say it, but it would be a novelty to most of them. But hey, take it where you can get it.
Mhm.
Because
Well, if you
like
get a good restaurant group to pick it up, that's big, that's very impactful in the state, right? Because that's how a lot of restaurants are. They take over a state first before they go
yes,
everywhere else, right? And Utah is very well known for the outdoor lifestyle, the healthy eating, and big there's big restaurant chains here. You know,
yeah,
you get a good Chick-fil-A or someone to pick up a burger like this, or a gourmet restaurant like our Market Street Grills, pick it up and then run with it. I would love to explore it more. I think that it's awesome. And I'm super passionate again about bringing opportunity. I don't believe we'll fix our supply chains if we don't fix our opportunities for farmers and protect our farmers. And this provides
the farmers are our supply chain. And until we take care of them, how can we have a good supply chain if our poor farmers are not taken care of?
Yeah, so
they're the most important aspect to this.
Right. And
they
this
really are.
Yep. This gives them security and a place to buy and more opportunity and more supply chain and on the whole thing. I like your model. I love the opportunity to buy local or regional and support each other, right? We're fighting a big animal bringing product in. And I think it is risky with hemp. It's amazing to me, even just opportunity. And, oh, it says hemp. Wait, we can't do that. But if it didn't, anybody would probably not even bat an eye, right? At some. However,
I get noticed in the grocery store because I really do I have the company that designed my my packaging. They did a fantastic job. They really did. Like they put their heart and soul in it. It was a very personal job for them. And so it's very eye-catching. But then when they see Hemp Way Foods, I think, so it's bright, vivid packaging, and then they see the word hemp, they're like, whoa, they do a double take. Yeah. I miss food demos so bad. Oh my gosh, I can't explain how much I miss food demos, because I used to do my own food demos. Yeah. I love hearing responses of what people say. Like it's amazing. Well, I love it when the kids, it is so funny. The parents are like, oh, he wouldn't like that, blah, blah, blah. And literally the kid, like, I could tell, like, it wasn't like love at first sight, and they're walking down the aisle kind of eating it. Oh my gosh, like I've had this happen so many times. The kid's like bounding back going, can I get another one of those? And the parents going, I don't know why my child likes that. And yeah, I love it. Like, I'm like, yes.
Especially healthy food. I've got a gentleman I was working with earlier that him and his friend started a YouTube channel. And I can't remember. I was thinking of it when you first got on, so I was going to mention it. But it's a YouTube channel where anytime the kids commit to eating clean and they have these different meals, they get to do something fun to the dads, like push them down a hill or smack them with a pie, all these different fun things. But the goal is to motivate the kids and educate them on the value of clean eating. And this is exactly what you're talking about. They're seeking, ways to encourage children to eat better and eat clean. And it's been hard for them to find good meals and find good opportunities or substitutes from the sugar-filled ketchups and the sugar-filled, everything that they've been on, right? Or heavily processed. And so I'm gonna, as soon as we get off, actually call him and make him connect with you, because I think
awesome. No, I'd love that.
A product that he would absolutely, if he hasn't, he probably already knows about you, to be honest. But I would love to send it. So how do people get in touch with you, Carla? I'd love to share it with you. If someone has questions or investment or wants to franchise, get in touch. How do people get in touch?
So info at Hemp Way Foods is a good email. Or my website is hempwayfoods.com. And then I'm still very accessible. My phone number is 720-205-2100. I get a lot of calls, and a lot of people are really interested. And I tell you, I almost wish I would have thought about with I'd never thought about it until I started working with a consultant about the franchise model, because I haven't in a couple, probably since the franchise model came about. But man, I used to get calls all the time. Well, how could I do this? But I don't have $1 million,
Yeah.
to start. And I mean, you definitely, it's something. That is one thing. I would never recommend anyone doing anything in the food world without a good little savings account to back them up, because it's
Yeah.
it's never as fast as what you think it is.
Right. Right.
So, but no, I love answering questions. Like, it's just, hemp is amazing. Like, I really do. I love being a hemp educator. That's one thing that means a lot to me. This plant, and that's actually how I learned so much about hemp food, was because I was with a group in 2012 and 2013 where we traveled around Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
educating farmers. And I helped more on like helping with the travel and more of the marketing piece. And I learned so much. Like, that's kind of where, because I've been an advocate since 2009, but that was more, with legalizing cannabis and things like that with the medical side. And then I fell in love with the hemp side probably in 2011, and just dove in and started learning. And it is just an amazing plant. I mean, when you have a plant that can literally food, fuel, fiber, and medicine, because I'm not even talking about the CBD or THC or, any of the cannabinoid piece.
Right.
Food is medicine.
Yes.
And it's when you eat properly and wear proper clothing and exercise. I mean, it's your whole body, your brain, your muscles, your nerves. It's all connected. It's all connected.
And again, we go back to where we're at in life, right? Let's fix this plane while it's flying, right? We've got a pandemic on our hands that addresses how we're taking care of our bodies. Forget all the supply chains when you say, well, that doesn't affect me, right? It absolutely does. How are you eating? We know now disease affects people that are weak immune systems, that are unhealthy, that are overeating, that are, diabetes, all of these different conditions, autoimmune diseases that we have a lot of control over based on what we're putting into our diets. And it comes down to accountability, right? And choice. How do you know? Yeah. And so I guess with that being said, it's the whole reason I started the Global Hemp Association, or teamed up with a group of people to do so, because it's a place where I want, if somebody has questions and doesn't know where to go to get resources, I've got somebody. Carla's a great resource for food. I've got somebody around plastics, right? I'm not an expert, but I am so passionate about moving the industry forward. And I sit in such a different spot than most of these other groups, because I don't have a personal vested interest in one company or anyone or any group of companies. I'm super passionate and had an aha moment a while back that why in God's name are we not using hemp in everything? It's already being done. It's already been talked about. It's already been proven that it works, right? Now we've got to fix it. And like you said earlier, there are a lot of people still in the industry that are hesitant or unsure or don't share their secrets or don't want to talk. And like you said, you don't have to give everything up, but we don't need to be running scared that everybody's going to take our idea, right? It's okay to collaborate with other people that are doing things similar to you, because why reinvent the wheel? If someone's
just protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, protect yourself. But yeah, no, completely. To me, it's just kind of, I'm literally going, why are we not doing more? I mean, this is one of the first plants grown on earth. Like I mean, we've got so much proof showing that. Maybe not the first. I'm not saying that, but one, I mean, it's just there. It's definitely in one of the first plants grown. It's been used for so many. I mean, it's one of our first textiles. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
It's been food and medicine for a very long time, and clothing. We just did a really good job of making it evil.
Yep.
And people bought into it. And it's just really sad, because I can't imagine the society we could have if hemp was more incorporated into our world. I really can't.
Well, we wouldn't be battling our health and our or we would be, maybe can't say wouldn't, it would be different. It definitely wouldn't be a plastics problem that we have.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely wouldn't be the air quality problem, the carbon issue. It wouldn't be pollution in our oceans and our soils. We've completely depleted our soils, and that, is a whole nother piece. So that for me was the aha moment that this is exactly what I needed to do, because I want to be a fair voice that moves this industry along. I don't want to, we are. And we've become this place to make connections and build relationships and move the business along. And so with that being said, I'd love to connect and move this along further, Carla. I'd love to get to know you. Love to make some connections for potential to bring an opportunity like this to Utah, because I think that, especially Utah being a manufacturing state and we're full of health and wellness, it's a great opportunity.
I'm in love with Utah. I'm all about that.
Yes.
I have an awesome ATV that I love ATVing in Utah. It's my favorite activity.
Yeah. Well, with all the natural parks, we've got, our national parks are amazing, but
nope.
We'd have to find a new place like Fiji or somewhere else beach wise eventually.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one's, I'm manifesting that one definitely.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate you. I look forward to getting to know you more. And yeah, I'll reach out and let's jump on the phone again.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.